All right, this is a review I've wanted to do for quite a while. In fact, I've had this axe for over a year in my possession, and the day I got it, I just smacked it on the concrete a few times, and this thing was way loose. So right up front, even though I think this thing is probably, almost definitely the best value for a boy's axe on the market today, yes, that's even better than Council Tools. The main problem is with the head design as far as keeping the handle tight. And that's that it is essentially a Hudson Bay, isn't it? And because there's not a lot of meat up here and the eye is so narrow, they're relying on the double barrel wedges to keep it tight, which if there's any shrinkage at all, it's just not gonna suffice. I'll let you know how that goes. Probably better off just to rehang it right away as I did, and even better, probably just go ahead, rehang it on your own handle so you control everything from beginning to end. But you don't have to. Use it until it comes loose. Probably will come loose right away, and then do what I did. That's how loose that is. Now that's down. I think what I'm going to do is go cut that off there so I can get these wedges out. Okay, that should be enough. One. Gotta love the barrel wedge, but man, are they a pain in the ass sometimes to get out. There it is. Little head there. I have no doubt this is going to be a good limmer. I even like the handle. And they give you plenty of meat on the handle, though it's not overly thick. You could use it right out of the box as it is. It's kind of a round oval shaped thing, which I don't prefer. So I went ahead and flattened the sides, but there's room to do that. It is cut out of a flat board, so you don't get much of a swell in this direction, though you get some, and I was able to scoop this out enough to make that work. And I rather enjoy that straight shape. Finish with the crack in the concrete. As far as edge geometry, it's just a flat, long wedge, which will always cut well, especially for limbing. It's got a wider edge than most boys' axes, and that's because of the flare, that Hudson Bay pattern. And they give you a longer handle than the Grand Force Brooks. So you get almost a 28-inch handle. I think it is 28 when it comes. This thing is just a pleasure to use. It's light. It's very light, so it's only going to do what a light axe can do. I don't know how light, you guys will tell me. Feels like 2¼ pounds, something like that. Fantastic weight for limbing. And that's in just all around trail maintenance. pleasure to file. A little on the soft side. It might be a problem, but I doubt it. Not at this angle. You can see here where I was tipping my file a little. But otherwise, we're about there. I would say we're probably around 18 degrees, maybe 17 and a half. So she should be a nice chopper. Let's go give it a try. I imagine this is going to live on the Polaris there. Sapling murder as well. That's one of the things I use axes for a lot, is to clear saplings. And the other practical use, pretty much the only other practical use for an axe besides splitting that I see in the modern day, is limbing or taking care of small stuff like this in trail work. Let's see how it does here. I'll take it right here somewhere, I reckon, huh? I mean, that chip's pretty good. I don't know what more you want out of a little axe. That's it. It'll give you all you want. I bought a Kydex sheath on Amazon, which fits this fantastically. And it can just live out in the elements. Don't have to worry about getting it wet. Don't have to maintain it. If you need to chop roots or something, not going to feel bad because this thing's so cheap. At one time, you could get these things for like 25 bucks, which seems incredible that they were ever that cheap. A little more expensive now, but still not expensive. And a pretty axe. Not that that matters at the end of the day, but it is pretty. It doesn't come sharp. You do have to sharpen this. It's blunt on the edge, but there is no such thing as an out-of-the-box chopper. I mean, maybe Grand Fours or some other premium axes like Lamica. Nice and low. Head's nice and tight. Now. Boys are out riding their dirt bikes. All right, that's gonna have to be good enough. One of the reasons you want to switch hands and do the back work on your left side on these ones when they're nice and low to the ground is because your swing is angled. And if I switch over that way, I'm going to be low on my back cut. But if I switch to my left hand, it'll be angled the same direction. So here's to some ugly left hand work. I'm going to keep my feet way out of the way. As my left hand is terrible. Oop, that was hot. That should do it. Nope, not quite. Left hand, awkward. Timber. All right, just for the fun of it, I'll put a couple notches in this small little sapling with this small little axe. but it's gonna start raining soon and I would rather spend my time out here hunting for mushrooms. And I don't have my socks on, so I need to be careful. Joe's playing. Not. A little bit sticky, I guess. Maple normally is. This should do it. That's that. I think it really makes sense to go after small wood with when you're chopping with an axe. Chip's okay. The steel walnuts are really hard when they're in this form. This is me just trying to see what the steel's like. It files pretty soft. I got it. Split it in half. Let's take a look at the edge. On small stuff anyway. It is a little bit sticky, I'll say that.
So if you look closely in the cut, you can actually see from chopping that walnut, there is a slight chip in the bit, and it shows up in the cut there.
Get these busted up. Get out of here. I can't keep fooling around here, but I want to show you that it will split. Call that good. Huh? You should learn how to do this work anyway, and that's always been my thing. That if you want to use an axe efficiently, you need to learn almost immediately how to do these things. Shape the handle, grind the bit, etc., etc. This is well worth your money. I can't believe it took me this long to get one and put one together. But now that I have one, I can see this is going to be probably the first thing I grab when I go to do light limbing in trail work. It's going to live on the Polaris, and it's going to do that kind of utility for me. So if you have place for this in your arsenal, your little axe arsenal as it was, you can choke up on it. You can do finer tasks if you're into the bushcrafting stuff. It has that long beard, and it's not too curvy. It's curvy, but it's not too curvy. It's thick enough that you can make it split, and has enough pull behind it that it carries a little punch. And I really like that because the eye is small up here. I mean, this just feels like a pleasure to hold up here. So really, if you wanted to do one-handed work, it will not give you any fatigue in your hand at all. The main problem, and really the only problem, is you're going to rely on these barrel wedges to do the work, because you just don't have much of a wooden wedge there to keep that thing on. A little bit of heartwood in the handle. I never even looked at the grain. How's the grain? 45 degrees, acceptable. I just noticed that there was no run out. That was the thing I looked at. Nice and straight through the handle. That's a nice piece of hickory as far as I'm concerned. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, guys, I like it. I recommend it. I put my stamp of approval on it for whatever it's worth. I'm not getting paid for this. They didn't send me this. I can't even be bothered to mess with the Amazon link. If you want one, go get one. Wherever they sell axes, they'll have this one. I think it is a good chopper. Not great, but a good chopper, but a great limber, great trail clear. I'm just repeating myself. You heard what I said. Get one of these guys. It's worth